Hey everyone, and welcome. We're diving deep into breast cancer screening today. Straight from the source, we've got guidance from the CDC. Those guys, they're known for giving us that clear, reliable health info, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And our mission. It's all about making sure you have the knowledge so you can make those informed decisions about your health.
That's it. That's the goal. Yeah. Knowledge is power,
Mm.
especially for something like this.
Okay, so right off the bat, the CDC makes it super clear. When it comes to breast cancer, early detection, that's key. They're saying regular mammograms, they can actually lower your risk of dying from the disease. Makes sense, right? Earlier you catch something, better the chances.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's kind of like being a detective looking for clues before things get out of hand. Mammograms, they're like that magnifying glass, finding those tiny signs.
Gotcha. So you're saying even before you can feel a lump or anything.
Exactly, even before you notice anything.
That's pretty amazing. Now, I hear this term thrown around a lot, shared decision making. What that really mean like in real life?
So picture this. You're sitting down with your doctor. It's not just them saying, do this, do that. It's a conversation. You bring your health history, any risks, what you're worried about. Together, you guys make a plan just for you.
I like that, like a team effort. So where does the CDC say we should start with this whole plan thing?
Well, they point us towards the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, USPSTF for short. These guys, they've done a deep dive into all the research on preventing diseases. They're the experts, the real deal. Their recommendations, they're important.
Okay, the A-team, got it. So what do these experts actually recommend?
They say for women 40 to 74, average risk, mammogram every 2 years. That's the sweet spot. Now, of course, this can change if you're higher risk, family history, genetics, all that. That's why talking to your doctor, it's so important.
Where it's all personalized. So mammograms, most of us have heard of them, but can you break it down? What happens during one?
It's basically a special x-ray, but for your breasts. More than just a picture, though. Low-dose x-rays, they create these really detailed images so doctors can see even the tiniest things that might be off. Pretty cool tech, actually.
So like a super-powered magnifying glass for your breast health.
Yeah.
Makes sense they call it the gold standard.
Yeah, exactly. It's been proven, years and years of research, they really do save lives. Now, mammograms aren't the whole story. Some people, especially higher risk, they might need other tools too, like breast MRI.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more about those. MRI, that sounds pretty high-tech.
It is, yeah. Instead of x-rays, they use magnets and radio waves. Super detailed images of the breast, gives you different info than a mammogram, goes deeper.
Wow, that's incredible. So it sounds like MRIs, they're a powerful weapon in this fight. But you said they're not for everyone, right? Why is that?
Well, they're so sensitive. Sometimes they pick up something that looks suspicious, but it turns out to be nothing. We call that a false positive. Can lead to more tests, like a biopsy, a lot of anxiety. So usually we save them for folks with a higher risk of actually getting breast cancer.
That makes sense. Don't want to cause unnecessary worry.
Mm.
So we've got mammograms, MRIs. But I'm guessing there's more to this screening puzzle.
Right. There's more to the picture. The CDC, they want us to think about the good and the bad of screening so we can make those smart choices.
Gotcha. Weighing those pros and cons. So let's start with the good stuff. Early detection, that seems like the big one. Anything else?
Oh, yeah. Early detection is huge. Finding it early drastically increases your chances of beating it. That alone is a major reason to get screened. But there's more. Early detection can mean less intense treatment, fewer side effects, faster recovery, all that.
That's a great point. It's not just about surviving, it's about quality of life too. But we got to talk about the downsides too, right? Like those false positives you mentioned. What's that like for someone going through screening?
Okay, so imagine you get a mammogram. Then you get a call, they found something that looks off. That's scary, right? Super stressful. You might need more tests, like a biopsy. Uncomfortable, more waiting, worrying. And then, turns out, it was nothing. False positive, no cancer. Talk about an emotional roller coaster.
And that sounds rough. And I know there are other risks too, right? Overdiagnosis, overtreatment. Those terms get thrown around.
Right, so overdiagnosis, that's when you find a cancer that would never have caused any problems, like it wouldn't have grown, wouldn't have spread. And overtreatment, well, that's treating a cancer that didn't need treatment. Side effects, complications, stress, all that, for something that wouldn't have bothered you anyway.
Wow, that's a lot to think about. Really shows you why talking to your doctor is so important, weighing those benefits against the risks. Any other risks the CDC wants us to know about?
Yeah, they also mentioned false negatives. That's when a test misses a cancer that's actually there. So diagnosis and treatment get delayed. That's something to keep in mind. And of course, people worry about pain during mammograms and the radiation. But the radiation levels are very low. And the benefits of early detection, they outweigh the risks.
So it sounds like the CDC is being upfront about this. It's complicated. There's no easy answer. It's about what's right for each person. But once you've had that talk with your doctor, you've decided to get screened. What's next? How easy is it to actually get these tests?
Great question. Good news is screening is pretty much everywhere. CDC says talk to your doctor, make an appointment. Most insurance plans cover mammograms for women starting at 40.
That's good to hear. But what about folks without insurance or those struggling financially? Any options for them?
Absolutely. The CDC, they have a program, National Breast and Cervical Cancer Early Detection Program, free or low-cost mammograms and Pap tests for those who qualify. It's a lifeline for a lot of people. No one should miss out on screening because of money.
Wow, that's amazing. I had no idea. Where can people learn more about this program, see if they qualify?
Easy. The CDC's got a website all about the program, tells you who's eligible, how to apply, even has a tool to find providers near you. It's a fantastic resource.
This is great info. Sounds like the CDC is really dedicated to making screening accessible to everyone, regardless of their financial situation. But I'm guessing there's even more to this story, right?
You know it. CDC guidance is a great starting point, but there's always more to learn. Especially in healthcare, things are always changing.
It feels like we've only scratched the surface here. What are some areas where the research is still, evolving? Or where there might be more to uncover?
One thing that comes to mind, the debate about how often women at average risk should get screened. The task force, they say every 2 years, but some experts think yearly might be better for certain women. It's complicated, strong arguments on both sides.
So even among the experts, there's not always agreement. And the guidelines, they're always being updated with the latest research. Staying informed, that's key, right?
Oh, absolutely. And another area where things are moving fast, new screening technologies. 3D mammograms, they give you even more detailed images. Blood tests that could find cancer cells in your blood, all that. It's exciting, the future of breast cancer research. We might have even better, less invasive screening down the road.
Wow, that's really hopeful. Gives you a lot of optimism for the future of fighting this disease. But for now, what are the key takeaways for our listeners? What should they keep in mind as they navigate this whole breast cancer screening world?
The most important thing, I think, knowledge is power. Remember that. Understand your options, the good and the bad, and talk to your doctor. Make decisions together. It's your health. You deserve to be in the driver's seat.
Well said. And remember, the CDC has resources to help, like that National Breast and Cervical Cancer Early Detection Program. Money shouldn't stop you from taking care of yourself.
Exactly. Early detection is everything. Sooner you find something, better your chances.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. You made this complex topic so clear and easy to understand.
My pleasure. And to everyone listening, this is just the start of your journey. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep talking to your healthcare providers.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into breast cancer screening. Until next time, stay well. So we've got mammograms, we've got MRIs, but I'm guessing there's more to this whole screening thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Definitely more to think about. The CDC, they really want us to consider both sides, the good and the bad of screening, so we can make, informed decisions about our health.
Right, got to weigh those pros and cons.
Yeah.
So let's start with the good stuff, the benefits. Early detection, that seems like the obvious one.
Yeah, early detection, that's huge. Finding cancer early, it really increases those chances of successful treatment. Like, that alone is a big reason to get screened.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing there's more, right?
Oh, absolutely. So early detection, it can also mean less aggressive treatment. Think fewer side effects, faster recovery.
Well, that's a good point. It's not just about surviving, it's about quality of life too. But we do have to talk about the potential downsides as well. Like those false positives you mentioned earlier.
Right.
What's that like for someone going through screening?
Okay, imagine this. You get a mammogram. Then you get a call back. They say they found something suspicious. That's got to be stressful, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So you might need more tests, maybe a biopsy, more waiting, more worrying. And then it turns out it was nothing. A false positive, no cancer.
Yeah, that's a lot to go through emotionally.
It's a roller coaster.
And I know there are other risks too, right?
Yeah.
Overdiagnosis, overtreatment. Those terms get thrown around a lot.
Yeah, so overdiagnosis, that's when we find a cancer.
Yeah.
But it's a cancer that would never have caused any problems. It wouldn't have grown or spread.
So it's like it wouldn't have mattered if you never knew about it.
Exactly. And then overtreatment. That's when we treat a cancer that didn't actually need treatment.
Okay, I see.
So you end up with side effects, complications, all that, for something that wouldn't have harmed you anyway.
Wow, that's really something to consider. It really highlights why talking to your doctor is so important.
Mm.
Weighing those benefits, the risks, making those decisions together. Any other risks the CDC wants us to be aware of?
Yeah, they mention false negatives. That's when a test misses a cancer that's actually there.
Oh, wow.
So it delays diagnosis, treatment. And then, of course, there's the concern about pain during mammograms and the radiation exposure.
Right, I've heard about that.
But the good news is the radiation levels are very low, and the benefits of finding cancer early, they far outweigh those risks.
It sounds like the CDC is trying to be really transparent, letting us know that it's not always black and white. It's about finding what's right for each individual. But let's say you've talked to your doctor, you've decided to get screened. What's next? How do you actually access these services?
That's a great question. And the good news is screening is widely available. Talk to your doctor, schedule an appointment. Most insurance plans cover mammograms for women starting at 40.
Okay, that's good to know. But what about people who don't have insurance or folks who are struggling financially?
You know, that's a really important point. And the CDC, they've got a program for that, the National Breast and Cervical Cancer Early Detection Program. They provide free or low-cost mammograms and Pap tests.
Wow, seriously?
Yep, for those who qualify.
That's incredible.
It really helps ensure that everyone has access to these crucial screenings.
That's amazing. I had no idea that existed.
Yeah, it's a fantastic resource.
So where can people go to learn more about this program?
The CDC website, they've got a whole section dedicated to it. All the info on eligibility, how to apply, all that. They even have a tool to help you find providers near you.
This is such valuable information. It seems like the CDC is really committed to making screening accessible to everyone, regardless of their financial situation. But I have a feeling there's even more to learn about all this, right?
You're right. There's always more to uncover. The CDC guidance, it's a great starting point. But healthcare, it's a constantly evolving field.
Yeah, it definitely feels like we've just, scratched the surface. So what are some of those areas where the research is still evolving, where there might be more to learn, more to uncover?
Well, one thing that comes to mind is the debate about the best screening schedule. For women at average risk, the task force says every 2 years for mammograms. But some experts, they think yearly might be better for certain women. It's tough. There are good arguments on both sides.
So it's not always a clear-cut answer, even among the experts. And it sounds like these guidelines are always being updated as new research comes out.
Exactly, yeah. It's a constantly evolving field. And another area that's really exciting, new screening technologies. Things like 3D mammograms, they give you even more detailed images.
Oh, wow.
And there are even blood tests being developed. They could potentially detect cancer cells in your bloodstream.
That's incredible.
It's a really promising time for breast cancer research.
It really is. It gives you a lot of hope for the future. But for now, what are the key takeaways for our listeners? What should they remember as they're trying to figure out this whole breast cancer screening world?
I think the most important thing is knowledge is power. Understand your options, the benefits, the risks. Talk to your doctor. Make those decisions together. It's your health. You deserve to be involved every step of the way.
So well said. And remember, the CDC, they have those resources to help, like that program we talked about, the National Breast and Cervical Cancer Early Detection Program. No one should miss out on screening because of financial barriers.
Absolutely. Early detection, that's the key. The earlier we find it, the better the chances of a positive outcome.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. I really appreciate it. You've broken down this complex topic in such a clear way.
Glad I could help. And to everyone listening, remember, this is just the beginning. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep those conversations going with your healthcare providers.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into breast cancer screening. We'll see you next time. And until then, stay well.